Hello, it's Professor Noor, and today I'm going to go through chapter number 2, formulas, functions, and formatting. So chapter number 2 mainly talks about how you're going to use formulas and then how you're going to use the functions in Excel and then how to format your worksheet. So the objective of chapter number 2 is that how to use the flash fill, how to enter formulas using the keyboard, how to enter formulas using the point mode, and then how to apply the max, the minimum, the average function, how to verify the formula using the range finder, how to apply the theme to a workbook, and then how you're going to apply a date format to a cell or range, how you're going to apply a conditional formatting to the cell, how to change the column and row height, how to check spelling on the worksheet, and then how you're going to change the margin and headers in a page layout view. So we're going to start Excel. So let me share my screen with you guys so you can see all the activities in Excel. So I open Excel and this is your welcome screen. I will go with the blank. I will go with the blank. Double click it. Once you are in Excel, we're gonna create a worksheet about Olivia Art Supply. So the first thing in your worksheet is that you have to give a title because the title of your worksheet is very important. So we're gonna enter the worksheet title and subtitle. So in A1, I will try to zoom the screen. So if you see my cursor, I'm on the bottom of the screen, I will zoom it and then I will type now in A1. A1, my title is Olivia's Art Supply. Then push the enter key, press the enter key, and then my subtitle is gonna be salary report. After that, now we have to enter the column titles. We have to enter the column titles. So the first one we're gonna enter is in A3, the employee. Then you can move with your right arrow in your keyboard, or you can use the tab key, your mouse, to move to the next cell. Then we have email address. Then we have, now as soon as I will type something in C3, obviously in B3, the address will cut off because of the size of the cell. So here I'm gonna say dependent. Then we need to say hours. Now we want to wrap the text to move underneath the hours, the next word. So you have to press the enter, the alt and enter, the alt key and the enter key. And then here I will type worked, push the enter key. The next one is the same. I will type hourly, then enter and the alt key. So hold the alt key and enter. Your cursor will move underneath the H, and then we're gonna say pay rate. Next, we're gonna type gross pay. We're gonna put in G3, I'm gonna say federal tax. And then we have state tax. In I3 we have tax percentage. In J3 is net space pay, and then we have hire date. So the first thing after the title of the columns, now we have to write down the information. So we have to find the gross pay, federal tax, state tax percentage, net pay. So the rest we have to type it. So to do that, so the first employee, so let's finish up with the employees' names. Bennett, comma, Johan, then move your down arrow or press the enter key, comma, Michael, Emmanuel, comma, Pauline. Then we have Han, Teresa. We have Mant, comma, Samuel. We have Ottoman, Fai. We have Rice, comma, James. We have Villanova, Suzanne, and the last employee, Jen. Now, once we're done with the employee, now we have to do the dependents. 2 for the first one, the second is 1, 0, 3, 2, 0, 0, 2, and 1. Now for the hour work, we're gonna take 64.25. Now 80, 75, 50, so the 0 will be dropped off until you need to have a decimal place. 60, 46, 75, 80, 74, 25, and we have 68. These are the hour worked. Now the hourly rate, pay rate, 1975, 23, 10, 18, 65, 18, 15, 15, 90. So, and then we have 2105. We have 2250. We have 2102. And then the last one we have is 18.43. Now let's go to the hire date. So just you have to write 4/5/ the year, so 12, 5, 7, 13, 12, 1, 11. And then we have 1, 3, 14. Then we have 12, 3, 10. These are the hire date. So then we have March 7th, 11, and then we have 2, 5, 11, and then we have 5, 6, or 4, and then finally we have 9, 12, 15. So once we have done with this, now I will teach you a new feature in Excel 2019-2016 that we call flash fill. Flash fill is an Excel feature that look for patterns in the data and automatically fills or format the data in the remaining cells. So the example in here is that you see that I want to put the email of all these employees. So luckily that we have only 11 or 10 of the employees. But what if you have 100 employees emails you're going to be writing down? So the good thing is that once you put two of the email of the employees, then with the flash fill is going to copy the pattern. It's going to copy the sample of what you did earlier. So to do that, your book says, let's go to B4 and we have to write the first email. So the first email is jbennett at email.com. Then I have the second one, m. So you have to write two of them. So you're going to start because all the employees had the same last of the email, like gmail.com. So here is email.com, like snor@bcc.edu, michael@bcc.edu, right? So once I tap these two guys, now the next thing is my cursor is in a B6. Once my cursor is in a B6, then what I will do, okay, see what I'm gonna do now. Now one thing is that you can just press the enter key and leave here, and then we will go to data, the tab that says data, and then under the data tab you will see I have the data tools, and then I have flash fill. So click it. As you see that all the emails has been set it accordingly with your first and last name. So the thing is here, because Olivia was the title, but because it was available, so Excel thinks that this was an email also. So what you need, just go back to this, the B1, and delete it. Go to B2 and delete. Select and hold the delete key. So we are good to go. Now you see that I have the first and the last of the email. So once we have done with the fill, the next now we have to do is that we have to change the tab color, and then also we have to write down more. We have to enter the row title. So like in A13, I will put total, highest, lowest, and the average. Now for the sheet 1, we have to double click the sheet 1. See in the bottom of the screen? So double click it. Once you double clicked it, now you have to override the sheet 1 by this name, salary report, and push the enter key to execute it. Now you want to give a color to your tab, so the sheet tab. So you will do right click, and then you will see tab color, and then in the tab color we have to go to row number 7, and the color should be green. So we are looking for a green. Okay, so let's see. So green color. So click on the green and under the standard color. So now we have colored the tab for the sheet And also we have given a name. The next thing now, we need to save this worksheet, workbook. So we have to go to File, Save, and I will save it under the desktop, and I will give it the name. The name should be Olivia's Art Supply Salary Report. Olivia's Art Supply Salary Report, and then hit save. It's gonna save under the desktop. So the file has been saved. The next now is to enter formulas for the rest of our work here. We want to find gross pay, federal tax, state tax, tax percentage. Now to do that, we have to go to, for the first employee, Johan Bennett. For that first employees, we have to find all these federal tax, gross pay, tax percentage, and then for the rest, we have just to copy to fill it for the rest of the employees. So the first one is the one that you have to work on it. So to find the gross pay for the first employee, the formula they give us in your book is the hour worked multiplied by the hourly pay rate. So always remember, whenever you're going to start your formula, you have to start with an equal sign. Equal. Now the hourly worked for the first employee, Johan, is 64, right? So you need to know where this 64.25 is located. So it's under D4. So you will say D4 multiplied by the hourly pay rate for the first employee, which is E4. So type E4 and press the enter key. So we got the first one done. The second one is the federal tax equal 0.22. That's the percentage they charge. Multiply. Now open a parenthesis, shift and 9 to open a parenthesis. Within the parenthesis, you will type the gross pay for the first employee. Where the gross pay is located is F4. So F4 minus the dependent. The dependent is C4 multiplied by 2432. That's the rate for the federal tax. And then push the enter key. So 0.22 multiplied by F4. F4 was your gross pay minus the dependent multiplied by 2432, and then close the parenthesis and press the enter key. So you end up with $268. State tax, according to the formula, equal 0.04. It looks like it's 4%. Multiplied by the gross pay for the first employee, which is in this case is F4. Push the enter key. Now the tax percentage is, we have to start with equal, open a parenthesis. The federal tax, which is G4, plus the state tax, which is in this case is H4. Then close the parenthesis, divided by the gross pay. The gross pay for the first employee is F4. Now push the enter key. This is the percentage. Then the last thing is your net pay, how much you get at the end of the day. So equal the gross pay, which is F4, minus, now shift and the parentheses, we need federal tax, which is G4, G4 plus G, and the state is H4. So whatever is in the parentheses, they will be the first to be evaluated. So once the federal tax of the state will be added together, then they're gonna be minus from the gross pay. So that's what how much you're gonna take home. So out of 1,268 that you make, $950 is that what you're gonna be taking at home after taxes and all this. So after that, now the next thing we want to do is that we need to find for the rest of the employees. So once you have done for the first employee, now the other should be easy because you have to fill it down. That's it. So highlight F4 all the way to J4. That's your range. So once you highlight it, then you will see this rectangular, that square box in the bottom of that cell. You see, when my cursor move over it, it turns to a teeny plus sign. That's what I want, a teeny black plus sign. So hold the left key of your mouse and drag it down. So that gives us all the federal tax gross pay for all the other employees. You don't need to start creating the formulas again and again. Once you have done with the first one, then just you have to fill it for the rest of the cell using the fill handle. Now the next thing, guys, we need to do is we need to determine the total using the sum function. So this one we did with the keyboard. If you look at the formula, I typed the formula using my keyboard, right? But now we have already made like a function. So to get the function, I have to go to D13. D13, I want to find the hourly work total. So once I am in the total and under the cell D13, I'm heading to the home. When you are in the home tab, you will see the editing group, and then you will see auto sum. So if you click the down black arrow, these are some of the functions that we use too often in Excel. So we need the sum. So once I hit the sum, Excel is gonna ask you, is that what you want to sum from D4? Your start is D4 and the ending is D12. So if everything look perfect, then just press the enter key. So the range look perfect, D4 to D12. So we get 620, 23. So let's see, 75, 6, 46, 75, 80, 74, 25, 68. Okay. Now the next thing that we need to find out is this. We need to go back to find the total for this one. So just you will hit the auto sum, press the enter key, and then we get the stuff here. Okay. And then we had the decimal places in place, you see. Okay. And then the last one, I will go here and I will do the auto sum and push the enter key. So this is what I have so far. Right? Now, let me check again. 6425. So if you want to give the decimal, then you can do so. This one here is 72. So I put 75. So 72.5. Now that look perfect according to your book. So a little bit you miss here. I miss like 72 to 75. So it messed up all your total in here. So it's 72 instead of 75. So I have 620, 75, and everything look perfect according to what I have in your book. Now the next is to determine the total percentage. To find the total percentage, guys, so what you need is just go to the I-12. Once you are in the I-12, you have to fill it down because that's a percentage. So that come up with this. Okay. So let's see, it was 257, and then this has to be, so let me do it again. The percentage, they said you need to copy this. So in my case, it shows around 0.25. So let's copy this. Yeah, it comes with 0.04. So what we need first is that we need to find the total also for the federal tax. So once you get the total for the gross pay, you can fill it to the right hand side. See, once we have done this, now let's go back to I-12 to copy the percentage. So move it down to I-13. So that's perfect. Next, we have to use the average, the maximum, and the minimum function. So to do that, I will go to find the highest, right? So what's the highest in this range of the dependent? So what if your boss says, can you find what's the highest number we have under the column dependent? So your cursor is in C14. Now we have different ways to do that. The book wants us to go through this. You see here the fx function. You can click on the fx function and then find the max for maximum and then click OK. And then it says the range here, C44 all the way to C13. C13 is an empty cell, so it's not C13, it's C12. So what you gonna do, you can just highlight the cell that involved, see? Or you can just delete the C13 to C12. Once everything look like that, then click OK. Now the other easy way to do, which we do in daily life, instead of going to the fx function here, I will show you, I will delete this for a few seconds. You can go now to the editing group, the auto sum, click the small black down arrow, click on max. Now the range is wrong because it includes D4 all the way to D13. So D13 is empty. So what you need is go back and click on C4 and hold the left key of your mouse and drag it until you select C12 and then push the enter key. Now we're gonna find the lowest. We will do the same thing, auto sum, the down arrow, the minimum. Now once you did the minimum, actually the range is wrong. So we need to click on C4, hold the left key of your mouse and highlight the other cells, and then press the enter key. Now the average. The average is, you can do it a different way. I can go here in the FX, and then I can find under the most recent used, I will find average. I will click OK. That is gonna ask me from what to what, what's the range of the average you wanna find. So I can say, I can just highlight C4 all the way to C12, right? And then I will click OK. Now that's one way. I will delete it. The second way, I can go to the editing group, auto sum, then the second command is average. The range is wrong. I will click on C4 all the way to C12 and then press the enter key, right? And then the other way you can do is this. The third way, you will start with equal, you will type AVG for average. AVG. So when you type AV, then you will see the second one is average. So double click it. Now this one you have to write your range. So I will say it's from, or I can just highlight them like this. Look. Then close the parenthesis and push the enter key. See the same thing. I'm getting 1.2222. Now we're gonna highlight these three guys from C14 all the way to C16. With the fill handle, my cursor is in the bottom of the cell, in the right of the cell bottom. You will see the square box. Click on it until you see the black box. Your mouse change to a black tiny plus, and then hold the left key and drag it to the right hand side. All right, and then let's go. We need to find everything. So let's move it to the here. Now we don't want this one, so delete. Okay, we don't want to find the average, but the rest, the lowest, the highest, the total, we need all this. So everything look perfect. Save your worksheet. Oh, once we saved it, now the next is to verify the formula using range finder. Now if somebody says, can you show me how you get the gross pay? Then obviously I will use range finder. Range finder checks which cells are referred in the formula assigned to the active cell. So that my active cell is this, and I want to know what is involved to get me the 1268. So what you need is just double click the active cell, and this is your range finder. It's gonna say that the gross pay that you get is it involves D4 multiplied by E4, right? So then once you're done, you can just press the enter key. Now, if I want to know how I get the tax percentage for the first employee, I will move my cursor, that's my active cell, and then double click it. And then that's the formula, how I get the tax percentage for the first employee. So that's your range finder. Now the next one we need is to format the worksheet, right? To make it look nice. So the first thing is that we need to use a theme. A theme is format the worksheet by applying a collection of font style, colors, and effect to give it consistent appearance. That's what the theme is, right? So to use the theme, we need to go to page layout. Under the page layout tab, which is in the right of the insert, you will see theme. The first group is themes, and then you will click on the theme. As soon as I'm moving my cursor, see that the formation of your workbook is changing. See the font and the color of your text is changing. So your book wants us to use the ion. So click on the ion. See, you see now the formation has changed. After we change to the style ion, so I went here. By default, it was office. Then I changed it to ion. And then you have seen that everything changed accordingly. The next is to format the worksheet titles. So Olivia, art supply, we need to merge this cell. So select A1 all the way to K1, and then get back to the home tab. Click, you see the group that says alignment, and then hit the merge and center. Click on merge and center. Then select A2 all the way to K2. Go back to the alignment group under the home tab. Click on merge and center. There you go. Now select the A1. Now with merging is that it becomes one row and one column. So if I move my cursor here, it's gonna say A1, but A1 consists from A1 all the way to K1. So now it becomes one row and one column. So select A1 and then A2. So both of them has been selected. So what we want to do is that we want to give it a style now. So the style is under the group styles, see, and then under the home tab is styles. Click the down arrow for more, and then from here we have different kinds of formation that we can use. So the book wants us to use under the titles and headings, we need the titles. So click on the style title. Once you hit the title, now let's click on A2. And in A2, we need to decrease the size because this is our subtitle. So obviously we need to decrease the size. So we have to go to font under the home tab. And you see here I have two A's, one big, one small A's. So click the small A's one time. So you see now it shrink to size 16, right? Now the next is that we need to give some background color and apply a box border to the worksheet title and subtitle. So to do that, we need to highlight A1, click on A1 and A2, both is highlighted. Then what you need to do is the bucket is here for back color. We call it fill color. So click on it. And then we are looking for blue, gray, SM5. So it should be this guy here. Blue, gray, SM5, lighter, 60%. So that one is that. And then we need to have the box border. So to get the border done around the sub and the title of our worksheet, we have to go back to the font, and you see this icon where my mouse is flashing on it. Click the down black arrow and click the tick. We want to give a tick outside border to what I selected, what I highlighted, A1 and A2. So once that one is done, now you can click anywhere so you can see what you did. See, that's the border. Now, next is that we need to apply cell style to the column headings and format the total rows. Now, let's select A3, which is the employee heading, all the way to K3. And then we're gonna go back to the styles, style, click the small down arrow for more styles. And then this time we are looking for heading number 3. So that's heading number 3. Click on it. Now the next one I need is that while this column title is still selected, we need to move them to the middle, to the center. So go to the alignment, which is the third in the group, home, under the home. So under the ribbon, you will see alignment group, hit the alignment center. So everything moved to the middle. So the next thing we need to do is we need to apply a total cell style. That is here, A13 all the way to K13. So once you selected your total, A13 all the way to K13, I will go back to the style, click more, and then I will select total. So once the total done, so you see the style has been done. Now we need to bold A14 all the way to A16. So highlight A14 all the way to A16, go back to the font, hit bold face to bold it. So once this one is done, the next is now to format the dates and center the data in the cell. Now the date is almost at the last column here. So your book, they don't want us to have the year, 4 digit of the year. So they want only 2. So highlight the cell K4 all the way to K12. Now to change the formation of the date, I have 2 ways. One way is just go to the number group, and you see the down black arrow under the group number. Click on it. It's going to open the format cell, and then you are straight to the date category. The other way is when you selected K4 all the way to K12, just do right click on it. Any of the selected cell, do right click on it, and then you will see format cells. You will click on it, and then the same dialog box is gonna display on the screen. And then your book wants us to use this formation. The book wants us to use this one, 0, 3, 14, 12. That's the format. So I have a bunch of them. And then I will click OK, and you see the date formation has changed according to what you have selected. So the next thing now they want us to do is that we need to center C4. So let's go to C4 all the way to C16. And then under the group alignment, click on the center button. So everything went to the center. Now the next is to apply an accounting number format and comma style using the ribbon. Okay. So to do that, what we need is we need to select E4 all the way to H4. Then hold the control key in your keyboard and select J4, right? And then select F, hold the control key, and select the next one we need is F13. F13 all the way to H13, and then select the J13 also while holding the control key. Now release your finger from the control key. This why we hold the control key, because to select the non-adjacent ranges and the cells. After we did that, now we need to go and select from the number group. You will see the $ account number format. So click it. Now you will see the $ will be added. Now the next one we need is that we need to select E5 all the way to H12, and then we need to hold the control key, select J5 all the way to J12. Once you have highlighted, then we need to release our finger. Okay. Now we need the comma style. See the comma under the ribbon, the group is number, then the comma. So those will have a comma now. After that, now we need to select D4 all the way to D16. And then we have to give them the comma style. We add the comma style. The next thing now is to apply a currency style format with a floating $ using the format cells dialog box. Now your book says, why do we need the floating $? The currency format places the $ quickly to the left of the number, which is known as floating $, as they change position depending on the number of the digit in the cell, and display as 0 for the cell that has a value of 0. Now you will notice that you see the previous $ that we applied, it has a space. See the space, the gap. So the one with the floating one, it will not have this big gap. It's quickly you will see the $ will be put in the left of that number. So to do that, let's select E14 E14 all the way to H16. Hold the control key. Select J14 all the way to J16. Now you need to pay attention. So what's going to happen now, I will go to the number group, click on the down gray arrow, and then you will need to select currency. The category now is general, so you will hit currency. Once you hit currency, and then you will see here it says negative numbers, right? So the negative number will be represented with a black and a parenthesis, unless you want them to be represented by a negative or by a color, a red color. The other thing is said the symbol should be a dollar sign, and then the decimal place is 2. So the sample is going to look like this. So I will click OK. See now the difference between this and this. This one you used the ribbon, and then under the number you just click the dollar sign. This one is the floating one, and you see quickly in the left of the number without having any space you will see the dollar sign. So that's the floating dollar sign. The next is now to apply percentage style format and use the increase decimal button. Now to do that, you see here the percentage, you will highlight I4 all the way to I15. Once we highlight it, now I will go back to the number group again under the home tab. Click on the percentage where my mouse is flashing on it. Once I hit the percentage, then we need to increase the decimal. So you see in the same number group, I have this one increase decimal, and then I have this command that said decrease the decimal place. So we need to increase it by 2 decimal places. 1, 2. So twice I clicked it. Now the next one I have for you guys is conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is such a command in Excel that if your boss says from the hour worked, we want to find whose hour work is greater than 72. And if I got something greater than 72, then highlight them in a different color so that it's gonna impact, it's gonna show me the impact, right? So for example, if you have a student and their averages are less than 50, means they are failing in the class. So I want to highlight them, and then I can remind them that guys, you are failing the class. So then I will use the conditional formatting for the average, and I will set my criteria, my condition, and I will say that those average who are less than 60% indicate them in a red. So when I will open my worksheet, I will see that those start with the red, these are the one who is going to be failing the class, right? So conditional formatting is very important here in Excel. So in your case now, to apply the conditional formatting, we have to select D4 all the way to D12. Once we have selected it, now we have to be at the home tab. You will see the group styles in your ribbon, and then you will see conditional formatting. Now the conditional formatting, there are some rules that's like a predefined, they already created those conditions for, unless you want to create your own rule, which we're gonna do our own rule. Now here, see, I have data bars. I can use the data bars to indicate those numbers. You see, I have different kinds. I have color scales, see, the red, the green. So the green means they are good. Then I have yellow, then red is the bad one, right? Then we have icon set. You can use directional arrows. You can use some shapes. You can use like indicators. See the flag and the check sign. And then I have rating. You can use the rating stars or whatever here. These are the ready-made. Now we don't want to use any of the ready-made. We want to create our new rule. So click on the command that says new rule. Once you hit the new rule, then the next thing that these are all the rules that you can use. So we're gonna go with the second one. The second one is format only cells that contain. So we already highlighted the cell. So we said format only cells that contain what? So here, go down under the edit and rule description. You said cell value, then here you will choose greater than what? Then here you will write down 72. So those values in the cell D4 all the way to D12 who are greater than 72, then what you want to do with those. So I will go to format, and then I can give them a white color. The text has to turn to white. I will boldface them. I will go to fill, and then I will fill it with a color. So I can choose this color here. See, the background will be this color and the text will be white. Then I will click OK. Now it's gonna show me like this. Now click OK. Now click anywhere so you can see what happens. See, these are the ones that satisfy your condition. You said greater 72. So 72, 50, 80, 75. So these are the ones you highlighted, right? So if you want to remove those conditional formatting, so you can highlight the cell again. You will go to conditional formatting under the styles, and then you will see clear rule, and then you will select clear rule from selected cell if you already selected. So if you have like multiple places that you have used a conditional formatting, then you have to select that specific column that you want to get rid of the conditional formatting. Or if you want to get rid of all the conditional formatting rules that you set for the other cells also in your worksheet, in your entire sheet, then obviously I will go with the second option, clear the rule from the entire sheet. Okay, so these are the options how you're going to get rid of the conditional formatting rules. Next, the next thing now we have is we have to change the width of the column. So to do that, guys, I have different ways that I can change the width of the column because some of the stuff is cutting off, right? So you can select the column A, and then you can hold the shift key and you can select B and C, right? So once I select these three guys, then I can stretch it to the right. So by dragging, I can increase these three guys by dragging. So if I click on any of the in the right of the column, any of the column I selected, I highlighted. So I will go to the C because it's very convenient. Otherwise, you can go to the B also or the A. So while these three guys will be affected simultaneously now. So I will go here and then click left. Now it says that the size is 838 inches, which is 72 pixels. So we want to change it to 1025. So you need to drag it until you see 1025. See 1025, which is 87 pixels. Now release your left key from your mouse. So those three guys has been selected. Now, the next thing, guys, you see, what we want to do is you can select now the D, and then you can hold the control key. You can select E. You can select the I column, right? And then at the same time, you can adjust the size of these three column that we selected. So either way, you can drag it, you can double click it, or I can go to the ribbon under the group cells. I will go to format. I will go to column width, or I can use the auto column width, auto fit, automatically fit this. So if I click auto fit, automatically is gonna fit that column, see, without doing any dragging or anything like that. So if you wanna do auto fit with this one also, you can do. So select the A, hold the control, select the B and select the C. Then you can go back to format and then you can do auto fit. So once you hit the auto fit, now everything fit, but see now it's too wide. You can go back to the right of the B and double click it. So if there's any additional space, you can drag it, see. This one, you can try double click first. So otherwise, then you can move it. Okay. Dependent. So once we have done with that, also your book says you can select F and then hold the control G, and then also you can select J and K. J and K. And then this time, see what I'm gonna do. Instead of dragging to what I need, they want us to change to 11 pixels. Sorry, 11 inches, which is 93 pixels. So what I will do is I selected my column. I will go to the cell group, format, column worth, and then I will type it here, 11. And then I will click OK. Now these guys has been changed to 11 inches. Okay. Now sometimes you see that these have big gap, then actually I can go back and shrink it down. See, why should I have this big space? So this I can move it a little more. Then this one, see. Now this one I cannot do more because see, at the moment I do it, I get the number sign here, means the size is too small to hold the big number. So I can drag it back slowly. There you go. And then the federal text, let's see if we can make it a little bit different in here. Look. The gross pay, the hourly rate. So any changes, anything you want to move around, that's well good. So once we have done with that, now not only you can increase the column width or the of the column, you can also increase, you can change the row height. So let's go to, let's point to row number 3, you see here. And then my cursor is in the bottom of cell number 3, which is I'm in the middle of 3 and 4. So here, hold the left key, and they said you can drag it to 48 inches. So you can move, yeah, see the number is moving also. 48, this is 48, see? So this is 48. Now, you can also do that. You can go to the A14 and then select the A14. Now it says is 17. You can make it 24. See? So you increase the size. Or if you want to shrink it back, just move your cursor here and drag it up. Now the next one is to check the spelling. So we're gonna go to review tab. Also, I have the spelling check in my quick launch toolbar in the top of where the green bar is. So let's get through the review tab, and then the first group is proofing. Click on the big ABC spelling check. Now it says that the name Samuel Mann, do you mean meant, or you want to keep the same meant? So I will say ignore all. Now it says, do you want to continue checking in the beginning? I said yes. Now it says that Johan, is it this one you want to say, or you want to keep it the same way that you said? Okay. So actually we want to say J-O-N-N-E. So it's a 2N. So I will say change it. And then I don't have any other problem. So okay. The next one I have is now printing the worksheet and create a headers. To change the worksheet margin, headers, and orientation in the page layout view. So the following steps will change to from page layout view. We have to go to page layout so we can add the footers to our workbook, right? To this worksheet, we're gonna have the footer, or you can put a header, whatever you want, right? So to do that, to change the view to page layout, I have two ways. Either I can go to View tab, and then from the ribbon, I will click on Page Layout, right? Or you can see in the bottom of the screen in your status bar, I have three icons. See my flashlight, and then you can choose the second one is the page layout. So if you see this icon and if you see this icon, they look alike. So either way, you're gonna go through the view and then page layout, or you wanna just do it from the status bar. So either way you like, the same result. So here we get this. So the first thing we wanna do is that we need to set the margins. So we need to go to page layout. Once we are in the page layout, under the page setup, you see I will go to margin and I will choose narrow. I want to narrow the margin from the top left, okay, right, and from the headers and bottom. So I narrow, when I narrow, you see some of the stuff come back here. And then the orientation, I will change it from portrait to landscape. See, everything get in. Now the next one we have, we need to put the title, the headers. So we need, when you click here, so you have three boxes, right? So 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I want the one in the middle to put the header for my worksheet. So to do that, the worksheet will be, the title will be JAYNE Simit. Push the enter key and type chief financial officer, and then click anywhere. So this is this. Now your book says select A6. Anyway, just select A6. Once you are in A6, what you need to do now is that we need to flip the screen back, right? Now to do that, I can either use the shortcut from my status bar and the first icon is normal, or I can go to View tab and click normal. So that's the normal. Now to print, we will go to File and Print, and then you can print whatever you want, right? Also, guys, you see here it says under the settings for the print, it says noise scaling. So in the noise scaling, what I will do is I will say fit the sheet on one page. So everything will be fitted in one page, except I see that this one is cutting off. So we need to go back and we need to stretch this guy a little bit, the neck bit. So now let's go back, File, Print. Now everything look perfect. So fit the sheet on one page, right? And then you can also choose if you wanna print a specific selection, a specific area of your worksheet. For example, let's go back. Now your boss says, you know what, I need to print, let me shrink it down. I wanna print A3 all the way to F16. Only this. I don't want the feta text, state text, and all this. So I will go to File. I will go to Print. Now this time I don't see my selected content because it says Print Active Sheet. You see that under the setting it says Print Active Sheet. So I will go here and I will change it to Print Selection. I want to print only what I selected. See, the other one will not be there. So I said Print Selection. So you can do like this, or you can hit the print to print it. So I will go back and I will say the whole thing, the active sheet. Now the next thing, guys, in your book, they said how you gonna display and print the formula version of the worksheet. Sometimes it's gonna be helping us to debug why I'm getting a wrong answer in this cell, what the formula was, right? So to do that, to display the formulas in the worksheet and fit the print on one page. Now to do that, what we're gonna do is I will go back to my worksheet, my normal view. So what I will do, I have two ways to do it. One way is you from your keyboard, you will have to press the control key at the same time you will press the accent mark. The accent mark, you will see it in the left of the key 1. You see the key 1, the number 1 key in your keyboard. In the left, you will see like you have like a wavy, and then you have another like a check, like an arrow, something like this. So you need this guy, okay? That's what we call accent mark. Now I will press the control. I will hold the control in one of my finger and I will click on the accent mark. Okay, so first I need to remove this. Let me close this. Okay, so now I will hold the control and the key which is in the left of number 1. You see now I flip the screen to the formula version. See, now I want to get it back to normal. So you will press the control key and the accent mark, which is the key in the left of 1, like a wavy with the control. See, I get it back. Now, if you don't remember the control and the accent mark, then we're gonna use it through the ribbon. So you need to go to Formula tab. In the Formula tab, you will see the second last group is Formula Auditing, and you will see here Show Formula. It's gonna show you all the formulas involved, and then you can debug it and see where I did wrong in my formula. And then if you wanna take it back, then obviously I will click here. See here, I will say remove now the show formula. So if you wanna print out and so you can debug your formula, I will go to formulas, formula auditing, show formulas. Then I will go to file and print. Then here I have everything here. If it's not fitting, then you can say fit sheet on one page, so you can see all the formulas and the printout, and then you can go through each of the formula that you have a problem with. Now the next thing also your book says you can do it like this, which we already did that. So if you go to page layout and then you see the second group is page setup, the down gray arrow for more option. The page setup dialog box is going to open. Is already we are in landscape, which we already did earlier, and then we said we need to fit it to one page. So if it says something to whatever, so you can change it to one only. I want to display everything in one page. The scanning, remember, is under the file and print. Okay, under the setting for the print, and then you will click print to print it. I will just say okay. So the next thing now is to change the print scanning option back to 100%. So to do that, obviously what you need is just you have to go to the page layout, which I am there, and then under the base setting, okay, so you can go back to this guy here, and then you can say the adjust 100%. So you can change it to 100% if you want to. I don't have any problems. I make it 50%. So you can change it to 100% if you want to. So I will change it back. So I will go to formula, and then I will go to remove the show formulas. And then this ends my lecture for chapter number 2. So I hope that you have learned a lot of things from this video. So have a nice day. Thank you so much. Bye.